Yo my people, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're good, hope you're well. Hit the like button, hype the video, make sure you're subscribed, do all of that stuff, and apologies on my behalf. I know this is later than usual. Usually after a game, bang, within an hour I've got the match reaction out. Not today, not tonight, people, depending on what time it is, wherever you're tuning in from. Big up you, big up the community, big up the love for the love. But I thought, well, I thought, with the big six, it was stress at the beginning. So, I had to prioritize that, watch Tottenham, Chelsea. And then I thought, let me wait for the Liverpool-Villa game as well, since we're at it. And yeah, I've just seen Gravenberch get the second goal for Liverpool. They've gone 2 up. So I expect them to get 3 points. And it doesn't really matter. We've done what we need to do. On to the next one. And for me, the next one is City against Bournemouth tomorrow. I expected one of these two to be dropping points this weekend. Yeah, I've been getting used to that. As much as Arsenal have been winning week in, week out, game week in, game week out, it's also been accompanied by one of the ops, one of the title rivals, one of the challengers also dropping points too, which has been, it's been a blessing. It's become something, I've become used to. But let me not get carried away. Man City might beat Bournemouth. But listen, this is the Arsenal match reaction. It's finally here, people. And it was a tale of two halves in a very different way, in my honest opinion. And by that I mean, usually in recent games, it's taken us a little while to kick in. The first half is more about control, strangling the opponent, pressing, just dominating. And then in the second half, going on to win the games, albeit with set pieces here and there. This one, we came out the blocks, in my opinion. We had chances galore in the first half. In the first half, I think it should have been 4-0. And that's me being nice. But it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. We got our goals in the first half. We didn't get any in the second half, but what we did get is a clean sheet, another clean sheet. What's that, 7 in a row now? 3 goals conceded in the first 15 games across all competitions this season. We're on a roll defensively. And in that first half, it looked like in terms of the attack, in terms of Gyokeres, listen, he got a goal. So we pulled that one out. And overall, it's not just about the goal, it's about the performance. Because yes, it was another tap-in, it was another set piece. Declan, quality delivery. Gabriel, whether he's putting it in the back of the net or whether he's just making himself a nuisance and flicking it on or cutting it back from a deep corner. Look at the Eze goal against Crystal Palace. Whether Gabriel got a touch on that or not, as an owner of him on FPL, I still believe he did, but it wasn't recognised. But he was a nuisance in that moment, which, if it was a defender that got the touch, it wasn't the greatest of touches, and Eze banged it in. This time round, listen, Gyokeres, all he had to do was head it in. It was the great work from Gabriel off the great corner from Declan Rice, and that just goes without saying with Declan now. I put Declan in my fantasy team this weekend, and he delivered. He delivered. He didn't get the assist for that, but he got the goal later on. But on Victor Gyokeres, like I said, he got a goal, nice and early, and from there I thought, yeah, bag 2, potentially a hat-trick. But it wasn't to be. He came off at half-time. To be honest, I should have done research before this video to find out why he came off at half-time. But I'm assuming it's between a knock and protection. I lean more towards knock. But I'm not going to get into it because Arteta must have spoken about it in his press conference, so I'd be getting into an opinion based off absolutely nothing. So yeah, no point dwelling on it right now. Hopefully he's not injured. Hopefully, it's precautionary if there was any doubt about a potential knock on it. I know he got elbowed at half-time. But that's to say, in the first half, he probably had his best 45 minutes in an Arsenal shirt because he combined everything we've seen in pieces together in that 45 minutes. By that, I mean quality hold-up play, the strength, the brutish presence amongst the centre-backs, holding off, flicking on. He did that part, which we've seen, in moments throughout this season. He also passed well, when we actually got the ball into space quickly in the transition. Gyokeres, a few moments in that half, including for Declan Rice's goal, he showed his passing ability, which, to be honest, something we haven't seen throughout this season in terms of good to great passing. I think that pass that, cut in between the lines to Trossard before he crossed it into Rice, I think that was a beautiful pass. I also think the pass into Saka, where Saka should have scored the second goal, was also a beautifully weighted pass. The defender was all over the gaff. Saka ran onto it perfectly. He should have buried it. That should have been a goal and assist in the first 25, 30 minutes for Gyokeres. So we saw that. And then we saw But I say and we saw the presence in and around the 6-yard box, the 18-yard box. Listen, I know most of his goals this season haven't been splendid on the eye, but how many times across the last season, last 2 seasons, last 3 seasons have we said we get the ball into such dangerous positions, but we don't have that striker that likes to be in the box, that doesn't do his best work out of the box. Now, maybe this is my agenda subconsciously running with Gyokeres because I've got a lot banked on him. But the reality is I've got it banked on him because I love Arsenal. We bought a new striker. We needed a new striker. He bags goals where he was. I'm hoping he bags goals here. And it hasn't gone to plan in terms of bagging goals. But overall, I'm seeing improvements. It's still early stages, and coming off at halftime didn't help because I feel like he would have gone on to get a second, third goal. And when we look at the second half as well, and how much we dropped off in chance creation, being a real threat, could you attribute that to Gyokeres coming off? Because you don't have that striker that now stretches the defence so the midfield can get more space in the middle. With Moreno's dropping in, actually condensing the midfield, more bodies, and then we don't have that focal point. I think it did play a part, but at the same time, we've seen the second half performance from Arsenal before with Gyokeres, leading the line from the get-go. So, on Gyokeres, I think great 45 minutes. Unfortunate to come off. I don't know what it is. I'm sure you do, and I'll find out by the time I read the comment section. But fingers crossed, it's not nothing that moving forward, we need to worry about because it's already tight with injuries. It was nice to see Saliba back in the lineup defensively. Saliba, Gabriel, the wall. That's what they're called. Have you got the wall? Proton VPN. Make sure you subscribe, people. Make sure you scan the QR code. Click the link in the description. There's a link in the comment section to protect yourself, your data, your security, your privacy. We've conceded 3 goals in 14, 15 games. Make sure you're not conceding any moving forward. How do you do that? You scan the QR code. 15,000 servers available in over 115 countries. Make it make sense, people. It's not just Arsenal that need to protect themselves, and protecting ourselves, that's what we're doing. I need you to protect yourselves. I'm protected. Make sure you're protected. Show Proton some love, people. Scan the QR code. But I had to get that bit in on Gyokeres. Again, the comments might say you got an agenda and what's he doing different to Havertz and all of that stuff. I actually see a difference, agenda aside, and I'll caveat it with, in a year, if he doesn't kick on and start knitting all these little moments together, and I'm talking about Victor Gyokeres here, then it might be time to look for another striker. But at this moment in time, we're top of the league, we're flying high, we're winning week in, week out. The defence is... I don't even think a word describes it. I think that's the best way to describe our defence. So everything's rosy at the moment. So with Gyokeres, listen, thrust into it, number 9, new profile on a new squad, a new way of playing, and then the main striker in Kai Havertz, coming off injured in game week 1. I say coming off, picking up the injury in game week 1. The pressure was on, the pressure is on, because I still expect more, but it was worth noting that Victor Gyokeres had a great 45 minutes, and in that half, Arsenal had a great 45 minutes, because it wasn't only him. Across the 90 as well, I think Trossard had a very good game. And I say that because, again, it's not a player that, when starting, we often talk about as having a performance full of moments. Because, again, I'd probably call Trossard a moments player. Big goals, big moments, tight spaces, something out of nothing. But today, he got involved. He was key in the first half. In the second half, even, I feel like any little moments we had, any little chances in and around the box we had, it was all coming from him. I think Saka was poor again. I know he's coming off the back of illness, but that's back-to-back. Nothing to worry about because, again, we're top. And Saka hasn't even come close to hitting the form we know Saka can hit. So we're in a very good place there too. Nothing to dwell on there because it's about positivity. We're top of the league. You can only be positive about that because the way we're playing is mad. And the way we're playing does feel like we're going to get over the line, people. So, Saka not playing too well. Gyokeres still hasn't unlocked all the, potential that we've seen in him coming in from Sporting. And the left-hand side still isn't really sorted. Trossard here, Martinelli there, goal here, goal there. But performance-wise, I think Trossard does deserve a mention for today's performance. Eze, on the other hand, I think another moments player with Eze, and that's not to discredit him. I think from what we've seen of him so far with the squad this season, there's still some gelling to do, and there's still some outside of his control in terms of the team, the way we set up, the way we played. You know, we've still got to iron out a lot of that. It's only been 15 games. And there's somewhat of a new approach to the way we transition, and the spine with Zubamendi and, you know, Gyokeres leading the line. But Eze, you know, he didn't have any real moments. And I think when Nwaneri came on, even for the, 20 minutes he had, I think Nwaneri had a couple moments where he picked it up in the middle, maybe spun a defender or two, and then ran into space with the ball. I think he had a shot or two off the top of my head that were just wide, one of them, blocked the other. Maybe he should have passed the other. Yeah, again, the match was a few hours ago now, people. I've watched that bore fest that was Tottenham-Chelsea. And then I've just watched Liverpool go 2-up. They might be more up by now. Actually, let me check. Because if Villa get one back, I mean, I might have to re-record this match reaction. But then we got Loose Cannons tomorrow. Tomorrow night, people, we're recording Loose Cannons. I say tomorrow. We're recording it tomorrow. It's out Monday morning, 7 a.m. BST. It's still 2-0. It's still 2-0 and there's less than 20 minutes to go. So I'm just going to close the app there. And I'm just going to say Liverpool bounce back 3 points. So yeah, they're back on track to defend their title. Pressure back on. 500 million window. But yeah, where was we? Trossard, Gyokeres, Nwaneri, Eze, Zubamendi, good. Declan Rice, great game from Declan Rice. Not only his delivery, but the goal too. I think I've talked about Gyokeres' pass. I've talked about Trossard overall. He got an assist too, and the assist was very nice. A nice little dink over. But the header was actually sweet as well. You know, he picked his spot. He saw the keeper moving a bit towards, you know, his left-hand side, so he just buried it to his right, and it was a well-placed header, well-taken goal. And considering we won the game 2-0 in the end, you know, it was an important goal too, because not to say Burnley worried us, but, you know, 1-0 is always a precarious position to be in. You know, one set piece can change the mood, and we know all about set pieces, people. So yeah, the second goal was necessary in my opinion, even though a few people on the Big Six got a correct score from it. I needed it. So yeah, second half, I mean, Norgard had a shot saved, and that was in the 90th minute. That's the only thing of note I remember. It was a very good save from Dubravka though. Norgard had a shot saved from Dubravka. And then Burnley came close with the final kick of the game, the free kick. I think it was Edwards, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. And he hit the post. Not too sure if Raya got fingertips or he saved it in any way, shape or form, but it was an effort. It did risk the clean sheet run we're on, but we got out of there. Nice, clean, dry 2-0 win from Burnley. We move on to Prague next and then Sunderland after that. A big week, and we've started it very well with that Burnley win. So overall, first half, great. Should have been 4-up. Second half, cool, calm, collected, but left much to the imagination in terms of chance creation and attacking intent, quality, etc. So overall, 2-0, happy days, 3 points. Put the pressure on Liverpool, who seem to be dealing with it well at this moment in time. 2-0 up with less than 15 to go now, or around 15. We've added on time, but with them winning, you know, 2-0, I don't think there'll be much added time. I'm joking, Liverpool fans. I know you're here too. I'm joking. It's all love. It's, you know, I respect you, man, but it's our time now. And Man City have to deal with it tomorrow against Bournemouth. Will they? Won't they? We'll find out. We'll talk about that on Loose Cannons. Me, James Jordan, joined by another special guest, another guest you haven't seen on the panel before, because that's what it's about, week in, week out, show in, show out, different guests, different opinions, different perspectives, and the critique, the feedback, the opinions, thoughts in the comment section is always welcome, like it is now. What do you want to see here? What more do you want to see? You see the match reactions, match previews. Apologies, I didn't bring one out for Burnley. It was Halloween, little man wanted to go on his first trick or treat. I also had Cecil's birthday to get to too, so, you know, it was just a backlog of stuff. So apologies, people, no preview for Burnley. I did want to keep consistent with it, but moving forward, fingers crossed I do. But yeah, match reactions, match previews, Loose Cannons podcast, it's all here. What more do you want to see? Let me know. Hit the like button, hype the video, make sure you're subscribed. Love for the love as always, people. Prague, on to the next one. Sunderland in the league. We keep it moving, people.